on the floor. One 0 is a famous chant by Arsenal, and it's also the scoreline that saw us claim victory against Newcastle. Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. Talk to me, folks. Smash the like button. Let me know how you're feeling about the game now that we've most importantly got the 3 points. Football's decided in both ends. Newcastle didn't take their chances. We took ours. We're left wanting a lot more in the final third. In many ways, isolated to the realm and the context of what we've been in this moment since the international break, which has been terrible. Better performance than the last time we was at the Emirates. Best, domestic football's been horrible to us. We've actually got the 3 points, kept a clean sheet. Set pieces are there working again. Saka is back, and I feel although Saka didn't do anything to really scream and shout about, he was positive in his minutes. And credit to Noni. I'm not trying to scapegoat, Noni Madueke is not it. He's not it. He's got some bad habits in the final third. Too many touches, not getting his shot off. I am going to indirectly praise him, but that's the reality in a sense that our defenders, Hincapié, if it's not Eze, man of the match, we're left wanting more in the final third. I do think the game kind of changed for us when Kai Havertz came off, people, personally, because of, the team picked itself off the back of the keyword performance from the Manchester City game, innit? So I did agree with the 11. Obviously, Kai and Eze have come off with knocks. It sounds a lot more upbeat where Eze is concerned. Kai's season has been a bit stop-start. You're wanting a lot more because, there was chances for Newcastle in either half. There was times the game was on a knife edge, people. Obviously, Olise, or whatever his name is, in the first 30 seconds could have bagged. Visa towards the end could have bagged. Tonali and Bruno Gomes had opportunities that they could have done and probably should have done a lot better. And although it weren't really a chance, a ball came into the box for the 20-foot damn burn. These could have went left. Obviously, Gyökeres at the end. Come on, man. Martinelli and Madueke and their decision making, it speaks for itself. Gyökeres, come on, in the final third, come on now, bro. That pass has to make it. There was an incident where Declan Rice, taking forever to shoot. So we know it's not going to happen overnight with us in the final third. It kind of is what it is. I can't lie, Berta, we need some reinforcements in attack. Gyökeres is here. Can you get a better forward? Left wing needs to be sorted. Right wing, if it's not Bukayo Saka, the only guy I want to really see on a consistent basis is Max Dowman. So in the final third, it wasn't quite there. But then in many ways, and I've brought out a reaction, as I said, isolated to what we've been, I do think there were positives. I do think Kai Havertz and Noni Madueke tried to run in behind very early against a Newcastle team that tried to be narrow and condensed. You saw it with how was it Willock or Ramsey, one of them, they get everyone behind the ball. They don't really give you much space. So I did think we played with a lot of invention and intention. Best performance I've seen from Zubimendi in a minute. Rice obviously improved. The relationship we have with, Eze scored, and it's nice to see us, the set pieces. We are working on that. Eze scored, and Eze's in a fantastic moment. This is his best period as an Arsenal footballer. Odegaard has, in my opinion, 2 promising starts. Isolated to the poor season he's had, of course, but he's had 2 promising starts. Eze and Odegaard worked very well together. Much more improvement from Zubimendi. Hincapié, especially when we're trying to see out the game, absolute warrior. Lovely to see Bukayo Saka back. Lovely to see Miles Lewis-Skelly get some level of minutes in midfield or minutes full stop. And although there was nothing to scream and shout about from him, just seeing some of the passes he picked off, I'm thinking, Mikel, in the last 2 weeks, what's done is done, innit? But maybe utilizing a Norgard that's irrelevant, or playing Miles Lewis-Skelly, doing certain things. We didn't do it today, but the setup in the first half with Manchester City, and for the players, how we took to it in the first half today, because it meant if that was there a long time ago, we're running away with this league, but it's neither here nor there. I do think there was improvements. I can't, there was a lot of space in the midfield on occasion, but I do think we moved the ball quickly. I do think there was invention and intention. I do think there was an element of professionalism to see out the game. Of course, as a fan, we've been playing shit. Woe is me. We know as a minimum, big up you lot that are doing the goal difference thing, in which we kept a clean sheet and scored. That might help. I'm just on Arsenal in these 4 to 5 games left, obviously 4 now, just get the 3 points and get out of there. Now, again, both teams are not really cutting the mustard in the final third. I think they had 3 shots on target. We had about 4. They had probably like 11, 12 shots in total. We probably had, I'll bring it up, but like 15, 16. So all of the positives and the negatives individually and collectively, they've been there this season, some even as long as last season. The main thing was just to get back to winning ways. And the minimum we can do is pick up 3 points. And although, in my opinion, it's out of our hands, win our games. I'm of the reality of just win all your games, as easy as it's easier to say that. Win all your games and hope City drop points. That's the realm we're in. There was obviously nervy moments. You know, if Visa's having a tough time at Newcastle, innit? If Visa was the Visa we saw at Brentford, it probably is 1-1, and we're kicking ourselves for not taking our opportunities, you know. But again, something needs a revamp in the final third, you know. Saka, Eze, Odegaard, Nkapia, you're the only talking points, really. I think Raya brought calmness. I think there was a moment Saliba was overplaying, but there was that. And again, it's going to sound basic, but the willingness to rectify teammates' mistakes, like someone's losing the ball, we're getting back. Like even Noni, to be fair, like I said, I do think he ran in behind. I do think in many ways it was good, but we know Noni's not the answer. There was one incident, he lost the ball, yeah, and he raced and got it back. But for me, it's the decision making. It's like sometimes if we make the right decisions in the final third, the quality isn't quite there, or things that could be done in 2 passes, we're taking 4, 5. Like there was an incident where Rice, not that Noni's going to do anything, yeah, but Noni was on the right hand side. I was on TalkSport. I said it. I was like, Noni's made that run. Declan Rice hit him. He's taken far too long. So yeah, I do think it was a professional game in sorts. I do think there was a lot of space in the second half. I do think we forfeited possession and said, you know what, we back ourselves to kind of just see out the game. If we can get a second, which we didn't, then we'll get it. But all in all, we won the game, innit? And you don't know when I'm on TalkSport, I'm there making notes. So I want to make sure that you lot are smashing the like button. But also want to make sure I don't miss anything. So yeah, going into the game, of course, both teams needed the 3 points. I did feel to myself, yeah, and this is completely relevant but irrelevant. Football's a mad game, innit? And you look at the last 2 times we played City, key one being the game, how they were at the Emirates versus now, innit? I always think about momentum and timing in life, let alone football. It did make me sad going into this game because where were we when we played Newcastle away? I thought that was the precursor. I'm sure that was the first 4 or 5 games into the season. I thought that was the precursor for what was to come. And what I mean by that is our boys handling adversity, because we went a goal down. We didn't get a penalty shout. We came back from behind. You know, if you remember that game, individually, including Eze, every player stood up to be counted. The starters were on it. We found a way to get it done. The people off the bench did well. And I think with that, yeah, Arteta found the freedom within the framework as close to what I always demand of him, like what he needs to learn from a Luis Enrique and Pep Guardiola. And what I mean by that is he found the balance in that game of complicating. Yeah, Newcastle do this, so we're going to do that. Complicating what you need to complicate, keeping things simple where you need to keep things simple. I do think, yeah, Newcastle's weird, man, because they started the second half well. And it's like we looked a bit spent and tired and all of these things towards the end of the game. Maybe that's physical tiredness. Maybe that's psychological tiredness because the boys know what they're trying to achieve. And obviously at the stadium, we know what we need to do and the results of whether we win, lose or draw. But we looked a bit spent towards the end of the game. Newcastle just looked like they were getting life. And to be fair, if Newcastle were in a better moment and they were the Newcastle of what we know about them and Eddie Howe, it might have been a different game. But reality, we did what we needed to do, man. We did what we needed to do, man. And it make no mistake. If we drop points, then you have to think the league's gone, if I'm completely honest with you. Going into this game, I just wanted to get 3 points and build on the City game. I think we did that. As I said, we need to win all games and pray. I do think individually and collectively there was confidence there. Newcastle obviously tried to be compact. I do think in times the game it was a chess match, but it kind of opened up and became like an open kind of game in which you get a bit scared. I do think from start to finish the game had a good tempo beyond the obvious reasons of Kai Havertz being injured. Yeah, I'm disappointed because I feel he was doing good. And I think when Gyökeres came on, that changed our whole approach as to how we was trying to go about this. Noni Madueke in the final third and everybody in the final third, but Noni in the final third, the less said, the better. I do think Zubi had a good game snapping at heels. It's all about Nkapia. And if it's not about that, it's about Eze for me, man. Just everything Eze does, the dropping of the shoulders, etc., etc. All in all, we managed the game. We conceded a lot of the ball, but we made sure nothing came and bit us on the arse. So yeah, the main things is for me, our attacking options collectively are dead. Like they're dead, if I'm completely honest. Saka is a yard above Madueke, and I know you need to rest, and I'm not trying to make it about Noni Madueke, but if it's not Bukayo Saka, it has to be Max Dowman. And to the point where Like Wanyeri could have done that. I know we could deal with another wide reinforcement, but Wanyeri could have done that. Main takeaway for me is seeing Miles Lewis-Skelly get some minutes and some encouraging actions in midfield. I do like the relationship developing between Eze and Odegaard. Gyökeres final act. Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, Martinelli, the list goes on, in it. Big up Kai for the assist and big up you lot for the set piece routine. Yeah, and I do think like Newcastle have had a poor season, but they could build on that. But clean sheet, 3 points. We do what we need to do. Build some momentum. Now we focus on Atletico Madrid, people. And, you know, again, the main thing is that we won the game. We managed the game. There was professionalism in our defensive aspects. There was a lot. I can't question the willingness to attack because sometimes we're passing it side to side. I'm not really seeing what's going on. There was a willingness to do it. It's more of a quality thing. Maybe some players are in a bad moment or there's some physical factors. Some players, pardon me, unfortunately, are just not the levels to expect anything from, really and truly. They're very hot and cold. So, yeah, Newcastle had 11 shots. We had 10. We had 4 on target. They had 3. So both teams had chances that they could have done a bit better in. And the first 10 minutes was good. You know, both teams are wanting a lot more in the final third, whether it's for whatever reason, right? We had 7 corners. 1 made the difference. They had 2. They ended the game with 54% of the ball to 46. And possessions, 9/10 of the law. Possessions, everything, but it's what you do with it, because I've seen the flip side where we've had way more possession against Newcastle at home. They walk away with something. What was it, the 2022-23 season? Or maybe the year before that, where the ball was statistically out of play for F knows how long. Temporarily, we move up to the top, back to the top. Obviously, I say temporarily with a glimmer of hope that City drop points, because for me, I can't see where City lose. They made hella rotations today against Southampton. Southampton probably could have nicked it. They need to keep people on side, innit? But for me, I need Manchester City to drop points within the next 3 games. What, they've got Everton away, they've got Bournemouth, I'm sure they've got Brentford. All we can do is win our games and pray. So temporarily, we move up to the top. We part that off and we focus on next week against Atletico Madrid and Fulham again at 5:30. So, yeah, was it the most glamorous of performances? No. In many ways, there was things that convinced me that the players are feeling the pressure in the right way, do want to see the game through, do have that headspace to know we have to throw punches, but take punches. But then also there's concerns. Today, for me, it's more the concerns in the final third. Midfield, I think, did its thing. There's a lot of space. I can caveat that with, you know, it's getting a bit end-to-endy and open. You know, Eddie Howe and Arteta, they're both chess players in that regards. Defensively, we know what to expect. To be fair with you as well, like, I do think Benjamin White, like, very encouraging from you, Benjamin, if I'm honest with you, because we know he's not been able to really put in any good performances or put his best foot forward, if I'm completely honest. So I'll have that any day of the week, man. Let's win this. William, we did win it, man. Wish TalkSport would stop taking our DG away from us. Nice to know I was missed, Dan. Appreciate you. Tom, I was on that. Beans on toast, appreciate you. Marlo, we did get the 3 points. It was a beauty from Eze, and Eze's in a fantastic moment. See the way Eze's been moving in the last 2-3 months. I use these terms lightly. That's what you thought when we signed him in the summer, and you're looking at him on YouTube in the Crystal Palace highlights. Whether he's left wing or up front, it is what it is. Long term, you don't know my thoughts. I want different ingredients. This is my thing, because you look at that right-hand side of our picture, any team is going to miss key players, individually and collectively. Football is about relationships. So give or take, we've seen Benjamin White, Odegaard, Saka, indirectly, Kai Havertz pulls out to that right-hand side. Generally, within the last 2-3 years, right? You throw Timber in there, you throw 1-2 other players. Of course, if you miss them, that's going to affect any team's philosophy. But that's plan A. Arteta needs to find like a plan B for that. And I don't feel there's any real good relationships. Like, I don't mind if that's what you want to do. I don't mind if it's Rice and Zubimendi and Odegaard. But there's times I want to see Eze able to play out wide and Odegaard centrally. At times, Rice or Zubimendi as a lone 6. And rotating 8s. We need them kind of pivots, even though there was a point it was working and then it quickly didn't work. When we had Gyökeres and Kai Havertz, you know, there's been times where I don't agree with this, because we all know this is probably the most smelly front 3 we can put together. Martinelli, Noni Madueke, Gyökeres, and then you can put Kai. None of them are technically sound and safe and all of those things. But if you've got them on the pitch, they can harm you. You need to play direct. And actually, I did think we played very direct from the jump. These are the kind of things Arteta has to install and needed to install this season, but it's gone a bit left. But yeah, Eze's doing his thing. Obviously, he's signed to make the difference. He's done that. Long term, we need to really address our attackers. I don't know what's going to happen. If Jesus leaves, do we need another striker? You could argue yes, especially if you could get Julian Alvarez. Not happening. You could also argue no, because you still have Marino, Kai Havertz, who's not going to be moved on, and Gyökeres. But next season, I need a left winger that is undoubtedly better than everyone. Even that, like, better guy left wing. Eze can play left wing if we need to accommodate him and Odegaard. That's my two options. If you've got a Trossard and or a Martinelli, listen, it's a long season. We can mix and blend with one of those. Noni, isolated to your role of being a deputy, is what I expect. But again, there's two faults. One for me is a personnel issue, and one of it is tactics. Because a lot of these attackers, like Noni, I don't know. I'm not saying you're not trying to improve and things like that, or the gaffer, but you're actually got decent fundamentals. You're a very frustrating player because you have got a willingness. I do like your attitude. Don't think we should have bought you, but I do like your attitude. But things that you could do in 2 touches, you're taking 3, you're overrunning it. And at 24, 25, if the penny's never going to drop to not do these things, it's never going to happen. So you're kind of one of them. Like Martinelli, I accept you for what they are. You are. You can be squad players. You might get goal through purple patches of scoring, but there's that. And obviously recruitment, bro. Like, respectfully, I can't be looking at Noni, Martinelli, Trossard, these guys out wide. It shocks me if you don't score, and it doesn't shock me if you score or not, if that makes sense. And if we want to go from a competitive team to the next level, we need to know what we can get out of these players. But also, clearly, tactically, something needs to change. Generally, tactic needs to change. I think it's a quality issue, and it's obviously a tactical issue, not related to necessarily today, but generally throughout this course of the season, isn't it? But it was a beautiful goal from Eze. Great result of the training ground. Nice to see us back to not only back to set pieces, but the short set pieces have been pissing me off in this current cluster of games, purely because, you know, against Bournemouth, against City, against Southampton, we're up against it. We're not playing well. We're trying to win the game, and we're doing the short thing. So the positives would be clean sheet, 3 points, Nketiah, Eze, Odegaard for me. Generally, to see Odegaard and Eze's relationship, to see Saka back, to see maybe Mikel Arteta MLS in midfield. Arteta, you know these things. You know you can play MLS. You know you can play more attacking football. But for one reason or not, you choose not to. So as long as you get the job done, fair play. We needed to react. We needed to stop the rut. We need to actually win a domestic game. We need to attempt to build some momentum. And I do think we did that between the 2 performances against Newcastle and City. All attentions to Fulham next weekend. And just before that, we've got the small task of a semi-finals in the Champions League. What happened to you? I was on TalkSport. Appreciate you, Derek. Big up the Aussies, man. Big up the Aussies. Gyökeres needs to up his passing. Bro, Gyökeres, just put the ball in the back of the net or play direct. Gyökeres, I'm not looking at you for passing. And I feel sorry for Kai, man, because we all know in terms of the system and a facilitative figure, that is what Kai can give you. But Kai's not going to deliver if he's there. Gyökeres, we don't know if you're going to be there. If we want to get to the next level, like, we can't keep talking year in, year out. Who's the first choice striker? We can't keep talking about, for example, I know it's not the same, but Gyökeres or Kai Havertz, because when it weren't Kai, it was Kai or Jesus or Trossard as a false 9, Trossard, Martinelli on the left-hand side. There's certain conversations we need to stop having. Now, what's left of this year, it is what it is. Merino is our best striker. Still, if Gyökeres ain't scoring goals, it's dark. And I do like the changes we've made, but I've always thought, you know what, Eze's in a great moment when he was playing centrally. Gyökeres was scoring goals. They're tools in the toolbox, isn't it, really? Noni getting 80 minutes was diabolical. I wanted him gone by the 60th. At some point, I can't keep getting mad at Noni, because, like, when has anyone thought Noni could be the guy? Potential is one thing. Realized potential is another. If we want any more projects, let them be random youths from Brazil or wherever that not going to cost much, because we have put people on big wages. They have been brought in for decent collective fees. Like, our best attackers are the ones that have come, like, excluding Eze, our best attackers have probably been the ones that are at the club already, fair enough, or especially under Mikel Arteta, with the exception of Trossard. Kai, we failed upwards with that because we tried to do the midfield thing. Merino, obviously the same. Gyökeres, whether we wanted him or not, at some point you had to consider that there's more pros to cons, so Arteta's got to make that work. But 60-odd million on that, 50-odd million on Noni, 50-odd million on him, 65 on Kai, however much for Merino. Trossard was good value, and it just seems like it's the end. For what we've spent, we haven't got too much bang for our buck. The best attackers, in my opinion, obviously, we've got what we've paid for with Eze. Saka and Dalman have come through for free. Martinelli had his season, but you get where I'm going. It's done now, isn't it? So, yeah, we look shattered towards the end. So it wasn't pretty, but it was an improvement of what we've been doing, isn't it? So all we can do is work very hard. Like, what, 6 games, 7 games? Like, what, 4 in the Premier League, 2 minimum in the Champions League, hopefully 3. You've got 6, 7 games to salvage your season or end on a high, and that being bringing home a Premier League in the Champions League, or the Premier League or the Champions League. We have to let go and let God in it. DG, we are in trouble, man. The players are shattered. Newcastle weren't even moving around us. We just looked leggy all second half. We should rotate and play for a draw Wednesday. I fear Fulham. We ain't got time for that. I can't lie. It's not that you're wrong, but bro, it is what it is. Honestly, it is what it is. Like, we all know once it gets to April, it's crunch time. You need to deliver. And I know we've got injuries. I know we don't believe in certain players. I know there's question marks over the gaffer. I know there's all these things. I share all of these things, and it's not that they're not prevalent and relevant, but right now it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. We've got what we've got. We don't have what we don't have. It is what it is. It's not what it's not. Win the games. Let's get this parade sorted. And it's out of our hands. Like, it's jarring, man. It's jarring. We live for another day. Social, one love, man. But yeah, and like I said, there's certain man, I accept you for what they are. Like, Gyökeres, I'm not expecting you to ever have quality on the final pass and all of that. Kai, I'm never expecting you to be a consistent bagsman. Noni Madueke, just take on your man in. I don't really rate you in the final third. Martinelli, the same. Trossard, it's the beginning of the end. Gabriel Jesus is a non-story. The only ones I genuinely believe in the final third are Saka, Dalman, and Eze. And even that, Saka's been shit this season, realistically. But for me, Saka needs to play every game. Away from, obviously, we need to nurse him and that. Saka, a 5% Saka is better than certain man. Like, I'm sorry. As I said, it's not a scapegoating thing. We didn't discover these things today. We never discovered, for some players, we never discovered it today. We didn't discover it at any point this season. We've known about this for years, innit? So the attack needs a revamp. Midfield needs more depth. Arteta's got to figure it out. And as I said on the start, yeah, like, certain things you've done in the last two games against Manchester City and obviously against Manchester City and today, I just wonder if whether it's the collective approach, whether it's the use of personnel, whether it's substitutes, maybe if we did that a lot sooner. And to be fair, you lot know how critical I've been of us defensively, and we did give up chances today, 100%. Like, we did get overrun, we did concede possession, we could have conceded on another day, but isolated to how we've been performing in the last however many games after the international break, that's the best. That's the best you've been defensively in terms of your compactness, your following runners, your willingness to defend. Because there were moments of improvement, but there was also a number of positive signs I genuinely feel today. This weren't one that makes me sit up and be like, wow, it's one of the best performances of our season, even though it looks improbable, like us winning certain things. We're on it. But the main thing was just to win. The main thing was just to win, man. I did like how we was a bit more direct, but there needs to be more intricacies. Like, everything that we want in the final third, whether it's recruitment, tactics, is boring now, innit? Like, you don't know where I'm at with it. There were better individual moments in attack and defense. I'd go with that. A performance similar to Man City, but this time Newcastle couldn't find an answer. I have to think Arteta was using this time to train MLS to be an 8. No way he was kept in the dark for this long without doing anything. Big up yourself, Lint. Zubi played like he had a point to prove. Never seen this gassed for a long time. Thanking your defensive throughout the game shows our attack needs to buckle up. Bro, we needed to score a lot more goals. Because there were points I was thinking, bro, definitely the last action of the game with Gyökeres. Like, you make it 2-0, it's game done. But I will give them that, even though I've been quite critical. When it's 1-0 and we saw how the first half was and we saw how the second half was, you either get another goal, get maybe even 2 goals, it's party time, we can ease off, or you fucking make sure it stays 1-0. And today you did that, innit? So, improve, like, based on like what we've been in recent weeks, an improvement. Is it to a suitable level? Does it make you feel wow? No, but the main thing is points on the board at this moment in time, innit? So we done that, man. So I'm not gonna complain. Think Zubi was backing off his man a bit too much first half, but was good in the second half. Noni is so poor. I need Saka fit. We need to speak about Odegaard. Doesn't play direct though. Thought he was poor. I can't lie. I think people are being harsh on Odegaard. I think people, and rightly or wrongly so, I think you lot have made your point, made your minds up. I actually don't. I think Odegaard is one of our best players today, if I'm brutally honest. We got the result. That's all that matters at this stage of the season, despite the shite football, media performance, DG. I'm starting to see serious connections with getting a root canal and being an Arsenal supporter. But getting those 3 points today is all I cared about. Eze says he's fine, nervous about Kai. Pope always getting away with fouls on York June. Hey, Nick Pope is so lucky he's not the last man. He's so lucky he's not the last man. It would have been done. It would have been done. Big up delusional Gooner. I think Eze was taken off as a precaution. No injury. Deck was underwhelming as well. If you're here, hit the like button and support a DG. Appreciate you. Man, we scraped a 1-0. We scraped a 1-0 football dog shite. We need a new coach. End of. To be honest, I think this game might be more on the players and bad decision making up front. I hear that. But then again, indirectly, we didn't end up here overnight with these things. Like collectively, our attack isn't good. Couple man are good, but their form is a bit patchy. Collectively, in the same way we didn't end up overnight with a Timber, a Mascara, a Benjamin White, a Saliba, a Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, who had a great season at left back last year, Hincapié, Calafiori. You get where I'm going. We didn't end up there positively overnight. We've made bad decisions to end up like this. We've got players that are in bad form, players that are just bad full stop in the final third, or players that have bad decision making. Like, if we want to be a competitive, I always say this, we've been competitive in the last 3 years, 4 and counting. Them, 2 semi-finals, more points than the Invincibles. You know, all of them statistics, other than the ones we want, which is winning stuff. We've got enough because we've shown that. But if you want to get to the next level, we need man we can bet on. I need to look at my wingers and know you're going to get, let's just say, double figures. My right winger's going to get double figures. My first choice left winger's going to get double figures. These man can chip in. Midfield is doing this. This striker's going to do this. Like, one striker's getting you 15, 20 league goals. This one might get you 20 all comps or something. That a lot of that is a recruitment and personnel issue. Because a lot of these players are past it, either not good enough, and Arteta has to take responsibility for that. But also a lot of it is tactics. For me, it's more on the decision-making of the individuals today. But generally, it is on Arteta, because I do think there's a bit of a tax for any attacker at this current moment that signs, man. But isolate to what we know about our club. Like, some of you, it's not that you're wrong, and some of what I've said, we're talking about the same things. We're saying about the same things. Some of these things have been there all year or for years. It's not going to change today, innit? That's why it's not that these are not relevant and prominent, and I don't want to have, and I do want to have these conversations, but it's dead, innit? Like, let's just win the games, bro. Newcastle have a bozo keeper and we couldn't get more. Poor decision making, let it all work out. We won the game, and that was good enough for me. However, these guys need to start passing the ball to Gyökeres and stop passing it backwards all the time. Arteta needs to pick better too. I think Gyökeres struggled to get into the game. There were some good actions where he chased lost causes, he pressed well. I'm really just pissed off with his final action. We had to change the way we played. We know with Kai, he's going to, offer a pass. He's going to make decoy runs. He's going to run in behind. We still need to learn to play to a striker's strength. Forget Gyökeres, but we still need to play it in the direct manner. So if you go and get that striker, that's a lot better, man. I did like, there was even a moment Gyökeres hounded Tonali. So as much as I'm critical of the individuals, and we've been speaking broadly, it was a collective in it. Everybody mucked in to get the result done. And I do think there was a calmness from the boys that hasn't been there in recent. So, yeah, man, we got the 3 points, man. I can't believe it took till damn near May before Arteta realised they could utilise Eze shooting from outside the box as a set-piece routine. True. Good point. Thank God April is over, 4 more to go. It's all going to go down to goal difference. Then I think we're in trouble. Facts, Eze scored bangers against Palace, Spurs, Leverkusen, and today. West Ham as well, or am I forcing it? I feel like he scored against West Ham. I might be capping. I'm making it out. But yeah, Eze scored some cracking finishes, man. Give him the keys. Just let him, Saka, do the mad thing, man. But DG, Kai does a lot of missing too. Got like 3 golden opportunities in the City game, wasted them all. Noni should just stay on the bench. I don't think Arteta is telling them not to attack. I think our attackers are given the reins to do what they want, but they're average, very different. And also Arteta doesn't coach attacking players. Well, I've seen no improvement in Noni. So I'm just going to say, I know you're trying, and I know the manager's trying. So 50% Noni, you need to go, 50% on the gaffer, 50% you need to go and do more. But I hope for a miracle. But Noni's one of them players that I just accept them for what they are, bro. Because, like, how old is he? You're 24, 25. If you're still playing with your head down, running into blind alleys and certain things that we're talking about, if you ain't got it now, you're never going to have it. You might have purple patches. That's my only hope for Noni. I'll be real. And Martinelli. There might be times you're just scoring goals. But now, if that's being said, that means you lot are for the squad. You lot can get an occasional start. Pardon me, you're off the bench, etc. There's too much unanswered questions in the final third. Now, a lot of it is what it is. But we need to get, for next season, it needs to be better. I don't want to talk about next season because we all know over a 38-game calendar, there's times you're going to be amazing, times where you're going to be shit. Sometimes you play times you lose and you play better in that loss than when you won. But there's also an element of sometimes you're going to be shit and you need your players to get you out of jail. And not so much applicable to today. Maybe some of you would differ, but that's something we need. Gyökeres can't hold the ball up, can't pass on the break. Game changed when he came on. That I agree with. When he came on, it changed. Smash the likes, people. Gyökeres should be in the locker room beating up Odegaard. I feel like Odegaard has beef with Gyökeres. Allow it, man. Lucky today we go again next week. Manchester United fans going for City consistently, mate. Gyökeres has goals but no assists. It's looking better with a certain type of play if he could do it. But that's what I mean, accepting man for they are. I'm not gonna ask Gyökeres to score goals. I'm not gonna ask Gyökeres to create. I'm not gonna ask Kai to bag goals, like rightly or wrongly. As much as it pisses me off, and we've had conversations that sometimes I need to accept man for what they are. Gyökeres can give it a good goal. Last 2 games has been a bit meaty from him in that regards, but he's a limited service reliant striker. If you play direct, get him in positions, that's him. Kai Havertz, he's gonna get him behind. You don't really have much faith in him with that. There's certain, like, you just wish you could combine a Gyökeres and a Kai together. We've got a lot of them kind of guys, man. Like, sometimes I feel if Martinelli had Trossard's decision making, he'd be a lot better, but that's not how life works. Like, saying a video game. Waltmarder has more vision, precision, and creativity than Odegaard. To be fair, when Waltmarder and Visa linked up, my heart dropped. I genuinely thought I thought the minute Visa connects to that, it's 1-1. So there were moments where football decided in both ends. We could have got more goals, and we can be pissed off with that, but we need to be thankful we never conceded, because if life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. And if we're honest with you, Newcastle deserved at least a goal or two. In other ways, this could have ended 1-0 each way. Could have been 1-0 to us. Could have been 1-1, max 2-2, maybe 3-3. You get where I'm going, but we can only deal with the facts. We won today. Take the good, make it great, address the evident areas of improvement, innit? Nah, Gyökeres was shocking today. Kai completes that pass to Saka 9 times out of 10, 100%. You see the difference? As soon as Saka came on the pitch, suddenly Martin passing the ball quicker, gets the shot off on target. The attack, know the plan when Saka's on the pitch. I see Doku's resurgence and feel we can rehab Noni. Football IQ can be coached. How many goals has Doku got? Because you are doing well, but I need to see 2 strong goal-scoring campaigns from Doku before I say he's turned the corner. Because for every game you perform like this, how you might have any point this season, your season's even been up and down. It can be improved, but like, I know Noni's improving, like he's trying to improve, but bro, like how many times you need to be in the same situation? Once or twice, I can forgive it. It's happening. It happens almost in every game. And it happens sometimes 2 or 3 similar actions in the game. On paper, Noni, there's a lot of tools you've got that I like. You like to take on your man. You are confident, but you overrun it. Sometimes you run into blind alleys with your head down. Sometimes you do the wrong. You don't have the balance of when to keep it simple, when to overcomplicate. And that's why as much as Noni needs to answer for that, I'm not going to I'm looking at the gaffer because you're telling me he can help us for this season. And I'm not trying to make it about Noni or about Martinelli. It's just when you look at the collective attacking options, someone ideally who should be playing in the center of the midfield or in a central position. Eze is better than anything you lot can try run me left wing. Max Dowman, whether he gets goals or assists, I got a lot more faith in him on the right hand side. If it's not Bukayo, then people that have played for their country, played for big clubs, etc. I hear what you're saying with Doku, but 2 goals, really, 7 assists, fair play, but it's hardly enough to say a resurgence because Doku's got all the physical tools. If Doku really had that resurgence and that football IQ, he's easily a double-figure winger. And City probably don't even buy Semenyo and them kind of guys. Plenty of chances gone begging, though. Just that lack of good assist or pass. You know what? He's not the worst offender, yeah. But as I said, there's certain players I don't really believe in these situations. Declan Rice is one that I do believe in. Declan's one pissed me off. Declan, like, come on, mate. I didn't even do you know what? A lot of third man runs from Zubamendi. I was happy with it today. Zubi was good. On a side note, what was it like to see Abby get the hope? Then it dashed away in the space of 10 minutes. She was more vexed that West Ham won versus Spurs winning. And yeah, it was nice to see the smile kind of wiped. We can't pass on the counter. We can, it's just, well, no, we can't. We can, but again, if you're going to counter-attack, we're overhitting, we're underhitting, we're not, you get where I'm going. The only counter-attack of recent that actually looked like someone knows exactly what they're doing, it was actually Martinelli making the run off the ball, and obviously Max Dowman just taking over everything against Everton. One thing that annoyed me with Odegaard was the pass he didn't play into Havertz when he was last man. Glad for the win, but the performance at home was too shaky. He needs to make better passes forward. Better yet, he needs to give Gyökeres the ball. We've been scraping wins all season, and it's left us too drained. Odegaard could have played Havertz on the run in the first half. Same with Gyökeres in the 65th. Fair play, to be fair. 70th and around the 80th. His pass to Gyökeres, that Pope was fouled, was overhit as well. Today we're same old, same old. The manager is to blame. Why is Odegaard drifting between our centre-backs to get the ball? Dude should be higher up the field. I can't lie. If he doesn't do it, who will? Because then it's going to be Eze and Odegaard's going to have to stay. Like, we're going to need somebody from midfield's going to have to do that, if I'm honest. Now people can shut up about Saka. Look when he comes on compared to that fake Bandulu Ronaldinho wannabe. Take that headband off, bro. You're not that guy. Boring tactics as usual. Needs to be sacked. Kizzy's not here for it, bro. Bloody hell. We should sign Mitoma, sell Jesus, Martinelli, and Trossard. Our attack consists of 4 or 5 squad players. No one really good enough to hold down a spot consistently. And as I said, if we want to be a competitive team, which is what we've done so far, that's enough. See, if you want to win a Prem, win a Champs, this is it. Now, obviously, the manager's tactics make the difference. From what I'm about to say, the manager's tactics make the difference, and also the players, yeah? But away from the obvious, this is genuinely how I've approached this. I've said this in August, and I'm saying it now. It's a bit different because it's out of our hands. Champions League brings up a lot of, I don't know the word, but uncertainty. Let's go for uncertainty. It brings a lot of uncertainty. Premier League is out of our hands. I mean, you can say it's in your hands, you can say it's out your hands. City win all their games. We win all our games. It goes down to goal difference. Goal difference isn't kind to us, regardless of what it says on paper right now, where it looks a bit close, right? But so within that remit, yeah, I think Mikel Arteta's got to win me the Premier League. And I've believed that. You know, how you find that balance of keeping what we're good at and evolving us, when to rotate, all of the things that the good, bad, and the ugly that the gaffer needs to show over a 38-game period. As I said, the players are involved, but you need to win me a Premier League. The Champions League is different. I think my players need to go win me that. We're all in it together, but my players need to go win me that, because whether I think it's positive or negative, like when we went out to Paris Saint-Germain, when we went out the quarterfinals to Bayern Munich, I can nitpick, and I do feel like kind of how I feel about the Premier League. Yeah, it's a series of bad decisions on and off the field that have got us so close but so far. So when the periods happen where we might feel the Prem's gone or we got at the Champions League, it's obviously frustrated in those 90 to 180 minutes if you're talking about either the Champs or the Prem. But it's also like the collective decisions. One thing I'd say is I know the gaffer's going to set us up in a way that we're not getting embarrassed. He's overthought something in the Champions League. Tactically, do I think we can hang? I'm not saying better and our tactics are so good, but do I think we can give an even fight tactically, manager to manager, Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid? We need to get through them 2 games before you talk about Paris Saint-Germain or Bayern Munich. Obviously, at least 2 of those clubs are better than us, maybe even 3, or they're better than the gaffer. But you get what I mean, innit? Like, off the ball tactics, we will be to a certain level. But then I look at what separates us. Because Atletico Madrid, they've got the pedigree of getting to a final, getting over the line, all of that kind of stuff. I know we beat them in the league phase, but for me, that's the same as when we beat PSG. It's a very different moment when we bucked PSG in the league versus league phase of the champs versus, the latter stages. So it gives you confidence, but no confidence against a because the context is different. We beat Bayern, we beat Atletico. Tactically, do I think Arteta can even it out against Simeone, against Company, and Simeone and Luis Enrique? Yes, and they could also do him. But we've got nothing that separates them. Because whatever I feel about that, they've got all of that and to higher levels, and they've also got players that can make the difference. Because tactically, let's just say we're fighting for 89 minutes against Bayern Munich, PSG, or Atletico. We've got them on the ropes, and tactically, it's a good, positive stalemate. It's even. Their players are in better. Their attackers are in better moments. Griezmann might make the difference. Lookman, if he's fit, might make the difference. Julian Alvarez might make the difference. All of them guys there at PSG, like even in their lot, bro, every time you watch France, Kvaratskhelia doing madness, Doué's doing madness. Before you talk about Dembele and the rest of them, I'm not going to tell you about Bayern. 2 of their players are probably in for a Ballon d'Or shout, whether it's Elise with France or Kane, obviously with England, especially depending on what goes on in the World Cup. I look at my team, who's really the difference makers like that. Someone might bag a goal or because there's been some, Gyökeres, I wouldn't say clutch, but Gyökeres has shown he can be clutch for us. Kai has shown he can be clutch for us. Trossard in the first half of the season has shown he could do something. Saka historically, but apart from Saka, who's in a terrible moment, our players are not in form. And who do you really bet on? Because that's as part of the Champions League sometimes as well. You might just need to think out the gaff. bit of individual brilliance. Saka's banged it from 30 yards. Eze's done something you can't, whatever. And you can get the same examples with the 3 other teams, including us in the competition. The Premier League, I think it's been with the gaffer, innit? So, boy, we'll have to. Champions League is Champions League. We'll consider that tomorrow, bro. Noni would lose the ball, then act surprised, raising up. Bro, that was pissing me off, man. Happy with the result. Newcastle usually worries me. We do need to sharpen up with the final third passing, though. Odegaard and Gyökeres both had chances to make the right pass, but failed to do so. And you, man, are right. Because that also, well, then there's something collectively then. Because we're saying whether the ability or not, Odegaard, Martinelli, Gyökeres, who else was there? Declan Rice, Martinelli. Like, it's several players then. I'm happy to just be in these situations because they don't feel like we're there. But yeah, man, with a big game on Wednesday, maybe a little workout was worth the win. Odegaard has settled us out of possession since he's been back. Not great going forward, but we're better with him in the side. The problem with Arteta is he allows the attackers to play safe. Noni, Eze, Trossard take more risk than Odegaard. Nelly, I've been Odegaard's biggest defender, but the fall-off is so real. He wins no duels and cannot turn and drive on the ball anymore. He's still a good player, but limited now compared to his first few seasons. Noni needs to train with Saka on how to cut inside and get a shot off. He does everything perfectly to set up for the final shot and ends up taking a touch that goes out of play or a needless backward. And that sums it up because that's almost like Martinelli, very different. But if there's 3 actions that result, if you have to complete 3 actions to score a goal, pardon me, it'd be fair to say Noni, Madueke and Martinelli, they're them players that they will do the two of the 3 actions will be good. But the third and most decisive one won't. And if that was a young Max Dowman or some 18, 19-year-old, I'd have more excuses for it. But you, man, have played for your country, you're on P's, you're fairly established individuals. So 50% the gaffer, because you're telling me that these are good enough to contribute. 50% you lot, because I know you lot are trying to improve, but it's not happening. And then this is why, for me, I accept you, man, for what you are. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think we're going to get out of the hood, but I can't keep getting vexed. There's very few players I've got genuine expectation on. But the main thing is we won, innit? It was hard. It wasn't. It weren't, wow, we're back. We're amazing. Like, we won. There was shaky moments. And we're talking about context. I'm at the point people just get the thing done. Pray to God that City drop points. You know, make sure you win your final 4 games. Let's breathe a huge sigh of relief and book this parade, innit? Because Lord knows, the fans deserve this shit. 4 opportunities of silverware. Now, you got to a League Cup final, didn't get over the line, or put your best case forward. You went out the FA Cup. Technically, you're still in a Premier League fight, even though it's in or out of our hands, depending on what Arsenal fan you speak to. Champions League brings up uncertainties. To not bring 1 of the 4 is unacceptable. And that is the worst of, for me anyways, that's the worst of these 4 years we've aspired to win a bit of silverware. Because this is actually the first year I've gone into it believing that, yeah, we shoot ourselves in the foot, Arteta this, players that. I don't think we're perfect, but yo, we have to get this over the line. We can get this over the line. And at one point, we're talking about 12 points, 9 points. And now look, man, are doing algebra goal difference. So I don't want to have those conversations, but this will be the worst and unacceptable. And heads need to roll. Whether anything's going to change, it depends who you ask. So yeah, man. It's an interesting one in that regard. Why is this still on the screen? Big up you lot, by the way. I missed you guys, man. Smash the like button. I told you, man, about Saka. Overall, I'm encouraged by the performance. In the context of what we've been, yeah. But yeah, from what I want to see of an Arsenal team, nah. They need to coach Noni how to combine with others in 1 or 2 touch. It's not that these things are wrong, yeah. And you can always change. Some man are late bloomers and whatnot, yeah. But honest to God, if these things are not in your game now, are they ever going to be there? Like, seriously, man. Like, I'm not even trying to make it about Noni. This could apply to Kai, Noni, the majority of our attacking it, really. But you're 24, bro. Bearing in mind, Wenger says, rightly so, when you turn 23, that's when it's there. You're 24. You're 24. How many times, like, just to see your what you've been capped, if this is correct, you've been capped 10 times. So you're 24, you've been capped 10 times for England, you've played for Chelsea, big club, you played for Arsenal, big club, also PSV, big club, one of the biggest in Holland. You've got 2 goals. So I think you've delivered on brand. with what I expected of you. Am I happy with that 100%? No. But you played 37 times for my football club, 92 times for Chelsea, 80 times for PSV, 10 times for your country. Should we really be talking about this stuff? And if we're talking about this stuff, then what's going on? Decision making and discipline are two of the most underrated aspects. If, like, bro, you're too old. You're not too old. You're 24. You can get your act together. But, like, these are conversations I should be having about the youths. Should be talking about Harriman and Noose like this, and Max Dowman and Miles Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri and all them kind of guys. Not Martinelli, Noni Madueke, this one, that one, and the third. So it's, for me, you can go, the way I see it with Noni, I just think you're going to go through purple patches. I think you're going to do what the Trossard and Martinelli done. Like, you're going to have some good goal scoring returns here and there, but I'm never going to believe that's you. It's too many similar situations. Too many purple patch squad players in that attack. Saka was the only 31, and it's uncertain if he'll get back to his best, not this season at least. Full 90 minutes for Nkapie, Ben White, and Odegaard. Glad to see these man fully fit. I bet you they're not. I bet you it's a struggle. But you know what? I give them that the commitment. Man said Ogate will transform our midfield. I thought I was deluded. Still, that's crazy. But Saka's watch. Look what he's doing. Bro, I don't think football IQ can be coached easily, bro. I don't. Because I'm sure you lot, especially the wingers, they bring up them clips of you 1v1, the things you did good, the things you did bad. I'm sure these players are aspiring to do better, but you're just not that guy, bro. Like, this is you. I'm not going to lie, yeah. Let me not even say it, man. I'm part of Newcastle, we lot saying, Fanoni, you lot might be dumb enough to run us our 50 back as well. Come, man. We'll even give you cheeky Ben White loan. Saka being back will be huge. Hopefully he starts versus Atletico. I don't think he will, man. I think they're going to do the managing minutes thing. Doku is a purple patch player as well. And in same games, first sometimes maybe good, but maybe shit. Noni has all the physical tools. He needs that bozo showboat gene beaten out of him. For me, I like what Noni is. It's just the decision making. If you had Saka's decision-making, your quality, but this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Martinelli. If you had Trossard's decision-making, even though Trossard ain't amazing, if you had Trossard's IQ, you'd be a better footballer. If Noni had the IQ, you'd be a better footballer. These are the things. There's things Gyökeres can do that Kai can't do. Kai can do, but Gyökeres can't do. We wish we could combine them. We've been having these conversations, but we can't do that, so it's redundant, so I accept them all for what they are. But we've been having these conversations for a minute. We have. Noni is just a backup. He brings something different to Saka, but then his end product is weak. Yeah, but as you see, with football, sometimes your backup has to play all the time. We saw it last season why you need depth and how things can change. Although I have said players that are on the peripheral, we should have like denominations. I've never subscribed to this. Everyone's a starter. That's all bullshit. There's obviously going to be a hierarchy, but as we've seen with injuries, certain squad players will become regulars. Really, we just wish it was regulars and other players are taking their chances, and the first team regulars, the quality starting players, they become squad players by default. I can't act surprised. And this is why we ultimately always fall short. We'll have good moments in certain times, and even that, Noni's, well, you're not in any form really, because it's not good, it's not bad, it's what you've been doing, but like, horrible today. Quite forward. Maybe it's because, you know, we're just trying to get the result done and we're thinking about Atletico and managing players' fitness, but you shouldn't have got 80 minutes. You rightly got hooked against City. FA Cup games is when you probably played all right. Yeah, Doku's got like 8. Bro, you're not going to change. The penny's not going to drop. These man got the physical capabilities. You lot are buying it. How we not got 100 likes? Rice pissed me off. Yeah, Rice pissed me off with that. Thoughts on Saliba? Thought Saliba did well, apart from that little moment where he bugged out. Rice been crap since Jan. We've ran him and Zubi into the ground, bro. I don't know about Arsenal legend, but he's a warrior, man. Legend, for me, you got to do a lot. Pardon me, I got a lot of time for Nkapie. A lot of time for Nkapie. Obviously, he's not the best footballer in the world, but he's a warrior. He's a madman. You go to war for you. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What we saying for Nico Williams in the summer. If we sign him, great, but bro, you've messed everyone about, man. Fuck him. When you do the messing about thing, I want to leave. I don't want to leave dead. It's genuinely like the attack receives no coaching, which I agree with, because collectively we need to do better in the final third. But again, if we're really going to have to really do one-to-one coaching for some of these attackers, we're in trouble, bro. Like, these are not little kids. This ain't like when Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, like the Nelson, all the Eddie, them little youths are about. When you got kids, then yeah, there's certain things man shouldn't have to teach these players. And I know they know it. I know they're trying, but you ain't got the juice, bro. Martinelli, Madueke, Gyökeres are so poor technically. Havertz is dead. Trossard is more cold than hot. But we can't hear you. Are you sure you can't hear me, mate? That must be you. Probably the one that said it. Malik Fofana's had a horrible injury. Which Diamande are you talking about? Are you talking about the winger or the centre half? The winger, I like him, but is it Bundesliga tax? You don't get better technically after 23. You just get better at your decision making. That's my hope with Noni in it. Because it's just decision making. You will never be the best winger and the best thing since sliced bread, but you could be a lot more devastating and effective. And I shouldn't have these conversations. Arteta, are you working with him? Noni, are you working hard enough? I'm sure you both are. But whatever it is, it's not working. And I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Every ball Noni runs out of play is a chance missed. DG forgot Lookman at Fulham. True. No, but Lookman, that was more confidence. He was rubby at Fulham and Everton. That was more confidence. I'm sure I got a video on my channel when he was out here at Charlton, but his decision making has been there. It's more confidence. The only time Lookman's had shit decision making was it for Fulham. He took that horrible penalty in the last minute. He saw his name in lights, innit? I don't know why he did that. His decision making's always been better. I don't want no more potential youths, man. Man said Sam Bruno Fernandes. You're dream chasing. But this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, we wish we could take this off that player, add it to this player. And I know we all know this, but you can't do that, innit? We can't afford to have players that are squad quality of our expectations. If Noni was actually a squad player, you're getting occasional start here, random 60 minutes here, 20 minutes, half an hour here. Great. But and I know it's not the same, yeah, and it's not intangible, but Gaffer, bro, like Turkey was 30 million euros. I know we don't know when transfers are happening, but that was 30. This was 50 odd. You spent peas, bro. And it's a humbling experience. See, like, as an Arsenal fan, you know, I weren't there for George Graham, innit? I'm 31. Like, it's a humbling experience. Really believing more in my defenders, and it's a very humbling experience. Not to be, there's a couple players that are, but it can't be said for all of the attacking unit. Like, you're blessed technically and you're of a certain level and whatnot. Stop the expensive experiments now. Bro, I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. A part of me was thinking Newcastle, they're respecting us a bit too much. Like when Tonali was spamming those balls in, I'm sure in the first half, Bruno had an opportunity from a set piece, didn't do well enough. Hi, DG. So Noni loves to take on players, right? Why not try him as a 10? Maybe it could change his game, just a suggestion. Nah, G, nah. Nah, it's not going to bang, bro. It's not going to bang. Trust me. We're not going to get out the hood. I don't think we use Gyökeres and Nelly well, in my opinion. They're both basic players and are only good at certain things like running in behind, but we don't play on that. I hear it. Bro, I would, you know what? For me, Kai Havertz, you need to be moved on. You got one more year. Keep it for one more year and then just phase out the reboards, man. I like Marino. We miss him. But in the next 1 to 2 years, Marino, Kai Havertz, Odegaard, if you don't pattern, Newcastle, what are you lot saying for Noni? What are you lot telling me for Martinelli? What are you lot saying for Trossard? Berta, I know you got me for Jesus. Just revamp that. Now, Kai's not done. And I feel sorry for Kai because he's another one we've run into the ground, bro. That's probably the most annoying thing from today, in that you're concerned a bit about Eze. Naturally, you're concerned a bit about you're concerned about Kai. It seems a lot more upbeat on Eze than it definitely does for my man, but here's what it is. Noni number 10, send me to jail. I don't want to be in that. Noni 10, we're not gonna get out of the hood, bro. We're not gonna make it. I do think Kai's gonna get a new deal. Marino will go before Kai, but then could we get better players in general than Odegaard and Kai Havertz? They're not going to be the first out, but they're on big wages. Arteta might just have to accept time catches up with everyone. Noni has tech, he has skills. He just needs to stop doing back heels in the box or taking every touch. Is standing 2 inches from goal, I still believe. Show me a year of consistent improvement with that, then cool. I'm not on that, bro. Like I've checked out of that. Like we've got too many, bro. We've been signing, had too many players where the sentences start with "if Mikel can." Noni Madueke is one of those players. You're either gonna. I don't believe your end product's ever going to be suitable, but you're either going to get that end product and go up the gears, or this is how you're going to play from now to the end of your footballing career. I'm sorry, but you're a big man. Ability is one thing, but I trust more in Max Dowman's decision making, who I think is, from what I've seen of Max Dowman, we could see generational talent, mature beyond his years in how he carries himself on and off the field. But there's also moments Max Dowman does things that a 16-year-old footballer does. If we didn't know their ages and how you play football, dedication dictates your age, you would think Noni's one of the youngest in the team. Noni Madueke pisses me a lot. You don't know how much of a fan I am of Martinelli, but Noni pisses me off a lot less than Martinelli. Madueke pisses me off a lot less than Martinelli. But then you're both rubbish. Like I said, it's more hope. I want to get past the hoping. I want to know obviously form can fluctuate, but I want to look at my attack and know what I'm getting. In the same way, I know what I'm getting from my defenders. I know what Timber can do and what Ben White can do, and Hincapié and Calafiori, and obviously my two centre halves. You're not like, you're kind of prepared for anything. You're prepared for Noni, Martinelli, these ones to have good games and shit games. Every season, mismanagement of players and squad rotation is getting too much. Martinelli, we know he can do more. Madueke playing at his limit. Can Martinelli do more? Really? Like that 2022-23 season is taxed. I think Khalid said it. Martinelli, Madueke, and Gyökeres. You kind of man, you just got to make it simple for you. Let's just play direct and just hope for the best. The techie ball, you can't do it, bro. I'm not sold on Martinelli any longer. He's limited. Just head down, run, drip, bro. A lot of these attackers can leave, bro. Martinelli is miles better than Noni. But Joe Linton was a striker and transformed. Marino was transformed to a forward. Yeah, I would say Joe Linton, but I could talk about Marino. Marino's intelligent, though. Like, Kai is one thing I say, Kai Havertz is actually intelligent. Like, you're poor, but you can tell you're actually thinking about what you're doing. Marino is like very intelligent. He might not be, like, his game is based on intelligence, isn't it? He might not be the most gifted technically, he might not be the fastest or the strongest or a skill merchant. Marino, you can tell Marino's thinking about what he's done. Jesus is just not here anymore. Probably we're not getting Alvarez. Why would you leave sunny Spain when you've won everything? You're going Barca. You're going Barca. Horrid win with one moment of beauty, but we'll take it. Yeah, well, put my points in the bag. Martinelli does a job. He works well with Hincapié. I hear it. But we've got too much, man, that do a job. We've got too much. I hope I wake up and the penny clicks for a lot of these, man, but it's a myth. I'm not on hoping. And it's not me being positive or negative. I'm actually at the point where I'm just looking at basic competencies. Like, if the girl's butters, she's butters. If she's leng, she's leng. She's not, no, she's leng, but she's got makeup, or she's butters, but if she lost weight, she could be leng. No, you are what you are now, bro. Like, a lot of these players, you are what you are. If you're 19, 20 max, I'll even give a couple 20-year-olds till you turn 23, but not 23, 24, 25 years of age people that have played for big clubs, competed in things. That, bro, you are what you are, innit? And to the point where I'm looking at the gaffer, because you've assembled this in the same way. All the things we done well and do well, done no, all the areas of improvement, it comes to you, innit? You've worked with Sane and Sterling, allegedly had a key role in improving them and all those things. So if you're looking at Noni and saying, "Right, you got potential," show me in it. Because there's been moments I've liked Noni this season. I don't think he's as bad as people make out. But if we're having an honest conversation, bro, man, don't believe in none of these attackers like that. She's not Leng. She's not Leng. Bro, the man them are telling us she's Leng, but we have to squint and tilt our heads. Yeah, man. And everyone can have their preferences. I think we have a lot of average players. Think if we were struggling, big teams would only go for Saka, Eze, Rice, Zubi, bar the defense. Probably. Couple man might get moved to Spain. That's about it. Bro, the pass from Gyökeres was horrible. If we can get Luis Enrique as a manager, he'll get all the players firing. Look what he did with Dembele. I don't think he'll get Noni firing, but we definitely be a lot more convinced in the final third. Noni even scared to cross the ball into the box. He does it against City. I was losing it. And I don't want to come like I don't want to just make this about Noni Madueke, innit? I don't want it to all come across as it's all him, because it's not true. Like, and as I said, my thing is I know what I thought about signing Noni. I know what I've seen. Dead. I think, you know what, Noni, I think Bayern Munich, Club Brugge, and I'm sure you played the first half City at the Emirates. They're the best you've probably played in an Arsenal shirt, away from the FA Cup and all that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, Arteta picked him. He's got to hold that, bro. Rashford's always been a transition merchant, and we're not good on the transitions. And how many transitions do we get? Because when we do get them, we don't really benefit. We don't really get that many. You know, they only happened as in this game in the second half, but they happened in the first half, but more in the second half as we were succumbing to sit like we were sitting off Newcastle, innit? Like Newcastle were going for it. Leeds away, Noni did his thing. Leeds at home, I'm sure he did his thing as well. Yeah, big up Noni for the effort. I can see the method to the madness of maybe not if like isolating Noni as a player and everything we talked about, but bringing in him, I can see why you're deputizing for Saka, but it's too hot and cold. And the problem with him, I wish it was just one man. We're talking about bare other guys, and we already had uncertainties in our attack, like in the summer, and we're bringing in more man with that. Like Eze's quality has never been in question. It's more he's needed to improve certain things. It's more of a tactical thing for Arteta. Like his is just purely tactics. And then you've got people that are like Noni. You are what you are, yeah. Talk to me about Odegaard. Weak, cute, hardly progressive, only shoots when fans pressure him to shoot. Let's be honest, he ain't good enough. No agenda, just weak. Well, then Arteta, maybe not this season, but then he's gonna have to find a system that can live without Odegaard and Kai Havertz in this one, because we all know it. Any shock, we look a bit better, whether we rate them or not. Kai goes back up front. Odegaard's back in the side. The relationships have been there. We've not evolved. I like Noni. I wasn't expecting madness from him. He was never going to display Saka bar injury. The issue was he was from Chelsea. If we got him from Villa or Everton, why less heat? Bro, I can't lie. No more Chelsea players now, man. Like, we already have spoken about Kai Havertz and Noni. We saw in the cup final with Kepa. No more of them. Unless you're buying Caicedo, Cole Palmer, them kind of ones. Less of that now. Like, that has to stop now. It's yeah, just stop. Like, just stop now. Like, let's try a bit harder about what we're doing. I do think the players look knackered. And it's funny because you talk about rotation. What rotations can there be for Atletico? Realistically, there might be a bit of hope for Saka to start, whether data suggests that. There might be an outside chance of Timber being in the squad. Even if he was in the squad, is he going to start? Don't know what's going on with Calafiori. Was Calafiori even on the bench? Can't expect him to start. You could make a case of potentially Ben White. Is Mascara going to come in at right back? Beyond that, you're like, it kind of is what it is. Right, Norgard went in the squad today. Oh, yeah, Calafiori went in the squad. So what rotation can we do? I think Rice was okay today. Like, apart from you pissing me off when you was waiting for you to shoot or do a lot better, I feel some of you are being a bit harsh on Declan, if I'm completely honest. But the main thing is we won, man. Like, we needed to win because all the things I'm unhappy about, we're talking about, it could have been a lot better, but it could have been like, imagine if lost to Bournemouth, lost to City, lost now. You lot would still be talking to me about, there's still hope, but we don't know how it's going to work with City. We must believe, and all of this kind of crap. The main thing was to win today, man. Massive clear out needed, another big summer for better. But the thing is, we can't get rid of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because then you're going to need to bring in more, because then there's also the depth question. Maybe Mascara for White, Martinelli for Eze. Those are the only two changes I see happen. To be fair, the Martinelli one. Declan is a machine. The way he keeps himself fit is insane. Bro, I'll be real, man. I got a lot more problems at this club that I give more time for than anything Declan Rice is. Like, Declan, you're doing your thing. I think we could try a 4-4-2. Eze left centre mid, Saka right centre mid. But that just means Havertz would drop to striker, so that's 10 where he's 4. I don't think it's the right time to change formations. But I would rest Zubi and Rice. Rice is on fumes. It's really about the Prem we need to prioritize. Come on, man. Come on, bro. It sounds great in theory, but come on, broski. Come on, fam. Rest Rice and Zubi. Who the hell plays in midfield? Also, what Norgard, Miles Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Kai, all these kind of things. Which let's remember, it's Atletico Madrid, man. Let's remember, it's not that it's wrong, but it's a semi-finals of the Champions League, bro. You man have to go out there. It's not that you're wrong. They definitely look spent. It is what it is. We all know where the blame needs to be attributed and why we shouldn't be in this situation, but bro, nah. I'm not ready. Obviously, you're gonna have to be cute and clever. The strongest potential team. 2 changes max needs to go out there against Atletico. You definitely need to go against Fulham with that. I want to hear nothing. I want to see Miles Lewis Skelly starting midfield as well. Go to your bed early today. That's your rest, man. Nevertheless, we move. Let's beat Atletico on Wednesday, at least 3-1. Beat them in the return leg and win the last 4 Premier League games and score more than 1 goal. There's no matches to rest man in now. This isn't FM20, whatever. Well, we ain't got time for that. City in the 2023 treble had no massive squad. Haaland like 55 goals in 60 games. Even Kevin De Bruyne played plenty. Rice/Zubi are 2 best. Rest for what? 4 more games to win the Premier Champs semi and final, bro. There's no time for rest. The rest has to come with, bro. Put the game to bed. You might get a half off. You might get half an hour saved. You might get 20 saved. There's no rest. It's done now. The rest thing is done. I never rated Noni. All I expected from him was that he'd be a dynamic dribbler with questionable end product, and that's what he's proven to be. Fair, to be fair. I do think Ben White and Noni played better defensively as well. Noni and Ben White played better when Kai was on the pitch. It's like when Gyökeres came on, Ben White dropped further back and off the ball, and Noni switched on to spamming awful crosses. I hear it. Hopefully these players that do better in open games will help us in the UCL. Then we can upgrade next season. I think that's where I'm at as well. DG can't do the restart thing on FM in real life. Man can't rest no one. Look at this guy. Cheeky twat. What a week coming up. First, we're blessed with attacking football from PSG and Bayern, followed by peak caramble between Arteta and Simeone. No need for track and field. There was a game earlier where MLS was supposed to start centre mid, but I think Cali got injured. I'm sure that was the FA Cup. I'm sure that was an FA Cup game. I'm sure that I could be wrong, but I'm sure you're right, and I'm sure it was an FA Cup game. I think Noni is best suited as a bit part player. He does well in cups and early season, but in the business, and he has faded. True. For me, Saka, Max Dowman, Wanyeri needs to be groomed to play somewhere in midfield. There's minutes there, right wing. Other than that, Noni, you can mix and blend. We can use you across the season because plenty of you will get games. And, I accept Noni. You might be an outlet at times if you're a squad player. Martinelli, you might be an outlet. We might need you going backwards, but you can't be the main guys next year, bro. Looking to upgrade the Arsenal squad. Call us anytime. We're always here for Arsenal. Look at this guy. Saka wouldn't have crossed it. Bro, there was a couple of... I even see Saka do 1-2 step overs. I don't want to get gassed off 10 minutes because I do think we have to manage his minutes, but he looked decent, man. Him and Miles Lewis Skelly coming on. Eze and Odegaard collectively and individually. Hincapié. And obviously, we won the game, yeah? They're the only positives for me, innit? Like, they're the only things that warm my heart. And we keep our slim Premier League hopes alive, innit? So, yeah, man. It is what it is. Man said, raw, man, I'm still alive. I've put in my hour and 8 minutes, man. But, yeah, you're right. On that note, there's no point speaking anymore about Arsenal Newcastle. We will watch Leeds versus Chelsea tomorrow. We will have a live show tomorrow where we'll go over Mikel Arteta's press conference. I'm going to watch the game again, see if there's any other talking points. But the main thing is a clean sheet, 3 points, we're back to winning ways. And the main thing on that is whether I do watch-alongs or I do post-match reactions, you lot are always here, man. So I appreciate you lot supporting the platform. If you haven't smashed the like button, you know what you need to do. Appreciate you. KJ, one love as well. Hyper, appreciate you. As the man there said, smash the like button. But we've done too much talking for a game that doesn't need any more wassing, man. So, yeah, man. It is what it is. Appreciate you, KJ. One love. So, yeah, you lot enjoy what's left of your Saturday. We link up again tomorrow. And Noni, Martinelli, Bear man could learn a thing or two from this.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.